list. Okay, we are tackling a common couples clash, hobbies and how to spend your leisure time. Sometimes the gap there can be pretty wide and it can amount to a lot of time apart and a lot of money spent. So we appreciated friend of the show, Heather Johnson, who with her husband Billy was pretty open about years of philosophical differences over whether the family would ride motorcycles. We'll talk more about this dilemma in just a minute, but first a glimpse into what could be the beginning of a couple's compromise. I am afraid, to be perfectly honest.
It is very exhilarating. It's an adrenaline rush.
I don't love things that go fast or that can hurt me. I feel much safer with a tennis racket in my hand or a golf club, some skis even.
Dirt biking gives me that free feeling of being able to explore and be outside.
My heart's pounding, my mind's racing a little bit. My fears for today are, one, I'm gonna break my arm, and we have a new baby at home and I have no idea how I'm gonna hold her.
I bought my first dirt bike in the 3rd grade, paid $100 for it, taught myself to ride. You have power that you're sitting on and it propels you through mountains and trails and across streams.
I realized that he has such passion for it, and I started to think maybe instead of trying to get him to understand my point of view, I should try to instead see his point of view.
She said, I might want to try this sometime. And I saw an open window.
He's not out to get hurt, and he wants to be safe just as much as I want him to be safe. And I think I'm afraid it might be something our family picks up really quick, that we're going to love it.
If she does love anything, it'll be that we are spending time together doing something outdoors.
I love it. It's really, really, really fun. Thanks. Thanks for teaching me, you know?
Nothing like an awkward helmet kiss to seal the deal, right? I think she really loved it. She seemed sincere. Of course, prior to that, she seemed genuinely scared. They're fantastic. Heather, Billy, thank you so much. And thanks to Monarch Honda in Orem for hooking the Johnsons up. Apparently, Heather says her husband's patience paid off because she, yes, definitely is hooked, but she says it may take a few years before she lets her kids jump on any dirt bikes, so still some room to go. So for the Johnsons, it was motorcycles, but many couples struggle to come together on individual hobbies or agree on how that downtime will be spent. So how can you successfully bridge the gap and discover more together fun in your marriage? Studio 5 relationship contributor Dr. Matt Townsend says it takes extra energy, even work. So that effort considered, how important is it though to come together on those hobbies?
I mean, eventually, yeah. There's sometimes you just might not come together, but the reality is you got a long time to be with each other. And if he loves motorcycles and she doesn't, then there's something interesting. She has tension about it anyway, like she's worried about it.
She looked scared.
She was terrified.
Yes.
We've talked to her about this, and this does terrify her. But it goes back to a lot of other issues. No, just kidding, Heather. But the reality is she's got the energy anyway. It's just got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So one of the things, remember, if you want to create passion, it's going to take energy.
Well, you point out that passion doesn't just magically appear.
Well, it's interesting. It does at first, like when we're first in love, but everything seems right? All of our hobbies appear, but it's simply because we're really open. We have more energy. We're not trying to conserve. Notice she was afraid to do things because she didn't want to break her arm because she couldn't hold her baby. Fears start to come in when we're late, when we're a little older and we have kids. We don't want things to happen. But in reality, when we're first in love, there's tons of energy, there's tons of focus, there's tons of desire. Then that kind of fades a little bit, so we have to earn it. And the way we earn it, notice what she did. It took a ton of energy to be willing to do this, to be daring enough to get on, and to go open up that motorcycle. So if you want to make it work and eventually create some habits together, know you're going to have to exert energy. You're going to have to go out there and get into these activities and exert enough energy that, like she did, that you can find out that this isn't bad. This is actually pretty cool.
Have you ever had to exert energy in your relationship?
Yeah.
Doing what?
Nah, it's a long story. No, walks. I think I've talked about it on the show before. My wife's family, they walk like 15 to 20 miles on Thanksgiving. And I think that's just crazy, okay? And so, but I eventually just would go on the walks. We exerted a lot of energy. And over time, so now walking has become a huge part of our family holidays and traditions.
And do you love it now?
I really, really enjoy Thanksgiving. And I actually do enjoy the walks now because all of a sudden we have time as a family. We can do a lot more. But it takes energy to make passion. Don't think it's going to come free and easy.
Now, this jumped out at me. So for the wife out there that maybe rolls her eyes at her husband's hobby, no matter what it is, from dirt biking and beyond, you say the more negative you are about your husband's hobbies, the more he'll use those hobbies to escape you.
Well, yeah,
pretty much.
if you're so negative, I want to get away from you. So I'll use my hobby to go have a peaceful, wonderful moment because your negativity is too much. So one of the things I would do before you start beating up each other's hobbies, focus on what we can do together. Focus, when we are doing something that we like to do together, let's love it. So energize what you can do together, not what you can't. And by doing that, I'm starting to show my partner that I have good energy and emotion with you. There's a lot of stuff we can do, because once you can figure that out, then we can take some of the positive momentum, the positive energy to go handle the other things. Obviously, Billy and Heather, they have the ability to talk. They have the ability to kind of synthesize kind of their habits, their hobbies and their habits. So if we know what we're good at, that actually tells us a lot too. Because then I can incorporate, like if we can talk really well, or if we just like laughing a lot, we can incorporate those talking and laughing habits into the next hobby we want to try. Like if Heather really likes being alone and having time with Billy, they could go ride their motorcycle, go find a nice place, have a picnic, go spend some time off the motorcycle talking, and then actually it fulfills her needs and his needs. But you got to know what you actually like to do first.
So there's a way to check both boxes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I liked this too. You say most relationships can afford to grow up a little bit,
Holy
and new
cow.
hobbies allow you the opportunity to do that.
Are you kidding me? Do you remember when you were like 8 and there's certain things you would not ever eat or do?
Yes.
Like an 8-year-old, they just don't want to do certain
Salad.
things.
I never ate salad.
And what would your parents say?
You have to eat your salad before you leave the table.
Really?
Yes.
Did they give you like the meter stick? If you, anyway.
No.
Do you like salad now?
Yeah, I love it.
How did you learn that?
I tried it at dance camp.
It's the darndest
when I was
thing.
forced, that was the only thing there was to eat.
And if you put a lot of ranch on it, it's almost like a soup. And so, and when we get into this, all of a sudden, it's like, if we would just grow up a bit and get over ourselves, because there's a lot of things, and she mentioned it, she had certain preconceptions about what it's like to ride a motorcycle, that they're dangerous, that you're going to crash, that people die. It's all about the motorcycle, and there's a lot of fears there. So we have to blow that up. And we have to start saying, okay, I'm just going to start getting into allowing myself to have new thoughts, like motorcycles could be great. One way to do that, by the way, is understand what Billy wants about a motorcycle. Get into it. And he would say, I like to just have the freedom. I like to open it up and go anywhere I want. And when we start to understand this and almost expand our repertoire of what we can eat, it stretches the marriage. Now, okay, sushi. Do you like sushi?
I love sushi.
Have you always liked sushi?
No.
Does Mark like sushi?
He can handle it.
It's interesting. I remember the first time my wife and I went with some friends and we had sushi, and I was like, gross. We tried it, we tested it, we liked it. It's now a part of our diet. When we stretch in our marriage and try stuff, then we will actually, I think, grow up a little bit, we'll mature, and we'll be able to actually broaden the palate in the marriage.
So what if you're listening to this conversation, you like the idea, you get the benefits, so you go out and you put your money where Matt's mouth is.
Where my mouth
and
is,
you try the dirt bike, you try the golf, you try the video games, whatever it is, and you just don't like it.
Yeah. Then you could do 2 things. Just never do it again.
Okay.
You do 3 things. Let your partner go do it and you just stay away from it.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, you can't always complain. And he can't complain about you and some of your hobbies. Or you could just realize that you don't have to like something to do it. It's a weird grown-up idea.
What?
But you don't need to like what you're doing. How much in our lives do you love doing 4-year-olds' homework? You haven't done this yet, but eventually you'll start doing your kids' homework, and you don't like it, but you'll do it because they need it.
Yes.
They need the help. You'll be there with them.
Yes.
So sometimes we just do what we don't like doing, and interestingly, a lot of times when you do what you don't love to do, you actually start to like it more. The better you get at golf, the more fun it actually is.
Right.
But that takes time, and sometimes you have to bite the bullet. Most of us don't like medicine that we have to take, but we take it and it's good for us. We don't like vegetables always, and we do it and it's good for us. So in life, we didn't love school, but eventually being able to read was good for us.
So is this more about your partner's joy or the relationship joy?
Sometimes it's the relationship joy. Sometimes it's that I'll just serve you this way and I'll go fishing with you, or I will sit there and I'll help you count your whatever croutons for your salad, whatever, and I might do it for you. But the reality is this too, and it gets into our very last point, sometimes what this is about is it's about me being more focused on what I'm being than what I'm doing. What I'm being is I'm being with my wife. I'm being sacrificed. I mean, I'm being loving. I'm being respectful. I'm a lifter. I'm being somebody I want to be. And so it may not be the doing that is the essential thing. It's actually what I'm becoming. And when I can see that I'm becoming a better person with my spouse, and again, it doesn't mean you always have to do everything together.
Right.
But if you're really having a problem with something, try it. And one of my rules is try it 3 times at least.
3 strikes you're out.
Fully.
Okay.
Fully give yourself to it and give a lot of time to it. And then if you really don't like it and you still can't get energized by what your partner likes about it, then maybe choose to do something different.
Good stuff, Matt.
Yes.
Great stuff. Helping couples come together, that is the subject of your upcoming date night.
Huge date night. This is one of my favorites. It's fun. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. The cool thing about it, all the differences between men and women, all the latest research about what makes us unique and different, and also some really cool ways to mix those differences without, hating each other.
It sells out, so get your
It's cool.
tickets now.
Yeah. Be there.
Matt, thank you so much.
Thank you, Brooke.